Welcome back to WYMT Election Headquarters. Steve Hensley and Neil Middleton with you. We are standing by to hear from U.S. Senator Rand Paul. We understand he is getting ready to speak at the Galt House in Louisville. I believe that is his wife speaking now. And he's expected to announce that he is victorious tonight. The race was called right at 7 o'clock as the polls closed in western Kentucky. If you look at the results, it's actually tightened a little bit. Rand Paul with 55% of the vote to Lexington Mayor Jim Gray with about 45% of the vote. If you look at the map of Kentucky, which you can look at an interactive map on WYMT and see a county by county breakdown, all of eastern Kentucky is in red. Eastern Kentucky really went for Rand Paul tonight. There's only a scattered number of blue counties, mainly in central Kentucky.
Well, you know, Steve, Kentucky has not elected a Democrat to the U.S. Senate since 1992. Wendell Ford, who was popular not only among Democrats but Republicans, but this state really is starting to shift red.
And you look at the presidential race too. It's back in the 90s, the last time a Democrat won Kentucky, and that was ironically Bill Clinton.
Right, and here's just, you know, here's some interesting stats I'm going to pull up for you. You know, 30 years ago, Democrats held a 3-to-1 advantage in Kentucky. Today, Democrats outnumber Republicans by only a 51 to 40% margin. That's quite a shift in the last few years.
Yes, it is. And again, we are standing by for Rand Paul. As you can see, lots of signs being held up in the air. A big party underway at the Galt House in Louisville, and I believe he has just stepped onto the stage. So let's listen in to Senator Rand Paul.
Thank you, Kentucky. It's gonna be a big, big night for conservatives in Kentucky. I want to thank each of you for giving me the privilege of defending the Constitution for 6 more years. I take that privilege seriously and will honor my oath to defend the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic. This national election has been long, loud, and divisive. While there is much that divides us, there is also a uniquely American hope for the future that unites us. My hope is that we will find common ground. My hope is that we will rediscover that our prosperity is truly bound to our liberty. We do, however, face a question that is bigger than this election and must be heard. Can liberty survive in a democracy unrestrained by the Constitution? I don't think so. Will a people continue to choose liberty if they have given up on the American dream? I don't think so. The American experiment with liberty is not totally won. Today, tomorrow, and the day after, we must fight to restrain Big Brother at every turn. We must stand together against the rising tide of government excess that threatens to trap us, to hold us captive. To defend liberty, we absolutely must defend the entire Bill of Rights. Justice Brandeis said that the right most cherished among civilized men and women is the right to be left alone. I couldn't agree more. Privacy is not only essential to freedom, it's essential to creativity. Pink Floyd understood this. Pink Floyd understood that genius needs to be left the hell alone. Whether your ideas are politically correct or not, whether you're a painter or a self-proclaimed prophet, the exhortation is to shine to not let your conformity dim that light. To shine, shine on, you crazy diamond. For the crazy diamonds to shine, government must get the heck out of the way. The leave me alone generation is a generation that believes they can conquer the world, solve any problem, if left free to follow their dreams. It isn't about how government will lead us to prosperity. The debate is about getting government out of the way of human ingenuity. I am proud to have been supported by thousands of veterans across Kentucky. They are patriots, all of them, but they ask only that we go to war as a last resort, and only after serious public debate, and only after constitutional authorization by Congress. We need a reasonable, realist foreign policy where we stand strong enough to deter any attack, but not eager to start World War III. When we must fight, it should be to defend America, not for regime change and not for nation building. Our founding fathers understood that power was a corrupting force. The founders therefore gave the power to declare war to Congress, not the president. Their goal was to divide power among co-equal branches of government and to reserve all unenumerated powers to the states and the people respectively. Our founding fathers feared centralization of power. As Madison wrote, where an excess of power prevails, no man is safe in his possessions, his person, or his opinions. Our founders wrote that the Constitution was to restrain the accumulation of power by the government. Elections should be about protecting you from an overbearing government, not about which candidate will grab the ring of power. The goal should be to set you free, to leave you alone, to have a government so small you can barely see it. While the presidential victor is not yet known, I continue to believe that to win nationally, the GOP will need to become a bigger, better, bolder party. We need to welcome people of all walks of life, black, white, brown, with tattoos and without tattoos. With earrings, without, in overalls, in suits. After all, big government tramples on people from all walks of life. Regardless of who wins the presidency, I will not be a rubber stamp for a liberal Supreme Court nominee. I will only support a new Supreme Court justice who understands and believes in the Constitution's separation of powers. So often people look to politicians and say, "What are you going to do?" But really, we should all simply look in the mirror for solutions. Families, mothers, fathers, churches need to be part of the answer. Liberals will never understand this simple fact, just as they will never understand that charity is about giving your own money, not the taxpayers' money. It is important to remember
Rand Paul declaring victory tonight in the U.S. Senate race over Lexington Mayor Jim Gray.